Welcome to the Empowering Native Wellness Podcast. I'm IHC Communications Director David Dawson. With me is...
I am Joyce Llanos, the 988 Program Coordinator here at IHC.
And our guest today is...
Laurie Gonzalez, Rincon Tribal Council Member.
And you're on the Board of Directors for IHC too.
Oh, and Board Directors of IHC. Yes, that's really important. I'm on so many committees, subcommittees for that as well. But, you know, it's the heartbeat of this area of Indian country.
Yeah, well, you're a very, very busy woman, and I appreciate you taking the time to sit and chat with us. I thought it was important to take a moment to get to know one of our board members and one of the council members here in the Nine Tribe Consortium. Laurie, I know a lot of people are familiar with you. They've seen your face. You're around like every gathering I've ever been to. You're there and you're smiling. But I think it'd be really great if you gave us just a little bit of your history, where you're from growing up, and kind of how you got to where you're at.
Well, my grandfather, who was born here, was part of the relocation program. So he went to LA. I was born in Corona at a military hospital that's since been torn down because it was old. I grew up in LA. I went to school there, and I worked in corporate America. I worked for Occidental Petroleum Corporation, corner of Wilshire and Westwood, for 16 years. My boss at the time passed away, old age, and so I was out of a job, and I always wanted to come here. Always wanted to come here. Had never lived here, spent a lot of time with my great-grandmother. She had, at the time, was living in Escondido, would come down for funerals, fiestas, family gatherings. So it was a perfect opportunity to relocate. So I moved here in 94. We had a travel head start. I worked there for 6 years. And then we got into gaming. So I worked for our casino for Caesars Entertainment for 11 years as a recruiter, both international and domestic. And then I felt like, well, I want to get back even more. So I ran for council, and I've been on since 2011.
Wow.
And just doing everything I can to ensure a future for our tribe.
So you grew up in Los Angeles.
Yes.
You came here in the mid-90s. How big a change was that for you, going from the city out here to...
It was really big, although my grandfather founded the original Los Angeles Indian Center, which is now LA and Orange County. So I spent my summers there. So I grew up around a lot of different Native people. But to actually move out here, it was very different. The traffic, of course, is much better. But I remember when I first moved here, I said, oh my God, I'm out of milk. It was 8:00 at night. And my uncle said, well, you're going to have to drive to Escondido. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, it's after 8. The little market's closed. So the little things that we take for granted in the city, like everything's open 24 hours. And this is before the casino. So there was that. Coyotes, mountain lions, rattlesnakes. You don't have them in Redondo Beach,
Right.
California. Right. And now I can't imagine living in the city. It would be torture. I can't. Rattlesnakes, mountain lions, traffic, smog, congestion. Yeah. I'll take my snakes and my coyotes.
That's great. So in 2011, you said you started, you shifted out of the casino and working with the tribe more directly.
Yeah.
Why was that important to you to make that shift and that transition?
I come from a family that gives back. It's all about service. My grandfather, in his work with the Indian Center, giving, he then worked for the local government. He worked for a couple of like Sam Yorty, who was mayor of LA, and some other politicians, trying to make things better for the Native community in LA. So we were always a family that you did, whether it was, if you went to the park to have a picnic, well, you better take enough food to feed the homeless around you.
Mm.
Always giving, always, giving or giving back. So I thought, okay, I have experience with a casino. I have some corporate experience. Maybe I can help make things better for my tribe. So I felt like it was the next step
Mm.
in my life.
Mm. And if you've been working with the youth, with us specifically here, you've been so generous with your time with our We Thrive campaign, with our Generation Indigenous program. What would you say to any of the youth right now who are growing up in the community who, are thinking of how do they become part of that? How do they work on growing up to eventually give back? Like, what sort of advice would you give to them? Um, how can they grow up to provide a life of service?
Well, I think in order to provide a life of service, you need to be very well rounded yourself and very self-sufficient and know what your needs are and be able to take care of those before you help others. I mean, because if it's so completely selfless that you're not taking care of you, what good are you? You'll wear out.
Right.
I always tell my children, follow your dreams. Do the things that are important to you, but always take time to give back or help someone else achieve their dreams. And that's where, giving back comes in is once you've reached a point in your life where you think things are going well for me, how can I help them go well for someone else? When you ask yourself that, when you start asking, you're at that point, start giving back. I know a lot of people say, it's all about you. We're Native. I would say for Indigenous people, no matter where your community, it's never just about you. It's about us,
Mm.
you know? So it's okay to have goals. It's wonderful. And it's wonderful to meet them. It really is. But like I said, once you've reached a point where you look back and say, wow, I can't believe I did that. Now, who else wants to do that? Let me help you.
Right. I think that's one of those things that gets lost sometimes in the personal pursuit of one's goals, is the idea that at some point we turn around and how do I help the next person do that for themselves? Giving back, I think, often gets lost in that equation.
It does. And but another thing too is if we all are completely honest, no matter how successful we have become, somebody helped us get there.
Mm-hmm.
They either mentored us or they were so horrific. I'm never going to be like that. And we put out a career plan based on not being
That person,
not
yeah.
being that person. So we've all had help in
Yeah.
one way or another. So to think that, I did it all on my own, oh, that's pretty dang rare. That really is. And so just be aware of that and be that inspiration for someone else.
Yeah. And usually it's the person who thinks that they're getting everywhere on their own is usually the person we all complain about in our jobs, like
Exactly.
that person who refuses to act like the collaboration existed, or
They
they
were
take
part
all
of
the
the
credit
project,
for
yeah.
themselves.
Yes. And the kind that we say, oh, that was a great job, and they just say thank you. And always remember that everybody needs a little recognition. Thank you. I couldn't have done it without
That part.
Right.
these people. And the more sometimes we forget, well, you have to have been there sometimes in either the support capacity or that figurehead. Nobody does it alone. And the more you do, the more you depend on other people to help you.
Yeah. Because you're right, we don't get there alone, and it is about community, right?
Yes.
Whether it's the community you build for yourself, or the community you're born into, the community you move into, the community you work in. Like I have found such a wonderful community working here at IHC. Totally unexpected. I came here to work here 4 years ago and wasn't sure what to expect, you know, and found a job that is incredibly fulfilling and makes me happy to come to every day, you know, because I get to work good work that helps people and provides services that help take care of a community that I've grown to really love and adore and want to see the best for.
And they feel that.
I
And
hope
they
so.
know that's equally important, that they know that you feel that way about them.
Yeah.
Like it shows in your face sometimes. Like their success, you feel like it's yours too. Not that you're trying to take away.
Manapopanda, testing, Manapopanda, testing.
Random. But then hey, we're at the clinic.
We're in a working clinic.
But you know that you want the best for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
we've all had that experience with a doctor or, you know, office staff where they don't even look up, and you're like, okay, I really am just a number. That doesn't happen here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't.
There's a lot of support here, and I've seen it too in the not new anymore, but in the past year that I've been here now, and I see it a lot, and I see it from like council members, elders, and at first I was very like, oh my gosh, am I gonna fit in? Am I gonna vibe with people? And everyone has been so open arms and supportive in all the endeavors and the loops that we, the hurdles that we have to go through. But even you have to kind of remember that council members, elders are also people, but you have to just meet them where they're at. And it's encouraging one another to really move forward.
Yeah.
Right.
The one thing I want to remind everybody is you don't see them at their best. You don't. They're in here because they got a splitting headache, or their toe is throbbing, or, you know, they got a toothache and they've been awake for 2 days.
Yeah.
You know, you guys see us at our worst,
Yeah.
and still you feel this way.
Yeah.
Wow. You can't leave. Either one of you.
Well, you know,
it.
it's so I worked in entertainment for 25 years, and you know, when I was looking for the job and found IHC, I was no longer wanting to work for the man. I wanted to like take all the talents that I'd accumulated over 25 years of working in entertainment and find somewhere where I could apply it to doing some good and give back to the world. I was at that point in my life where I was like, there's fewer years ahead than there were behind, and I want to start looking at how I leave a legacy. And I was really looking for a place where I could do some good in the world and give back, and I found IHC, and yeah, I came here in the middle of the pandemic. You know, like we couldn't leave our offices when I first
It's like
started.
a ghost town here.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I so appreciated the fact that like people come to IHC because they're in need of something, you know, and yeah, it's because they're not feeling well. They're scared. They're, you know, fearful of what might be going on with them. All the things, you know, and I try to remember that when we're building messaging and we're creating campaigns. And it's one of the things with this We Thrive campaign with the youth, you know, that the youth were really clear on is we don't want the messaging to be sad and downbeat, because we all feel that already. We want to focus on how do we elevate the positive. And that's what I try to do here is elevate the positive messaging of coming here, you will receive services that make you feel better, help you find the solution to the thing. You know, like don't come here because you feel bad. Come here because we will help you find solutions. And that's how I feel. Like that's the purpose of the job. It's the purpose of why we're here is to help this community feel better and thrive. You know.
Well, you've been successful because I interacted with the youth, like the ones on that poster right there. Some of those kids were so sad and withdrawn, and we spent a day with them filming, and some of them couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I see them now. I mean, the messaging that you came up with, the way that you harness their energy into something positive, they're role models now. I don't know how you did it, but, and I don't need to. I just know it works, and you did it, and it's moving forward, and I'm grateful.
Well, I'm super excited too. We're doing another photo shoot this Saturday.
That's
So we got
amazing.
three of them returning. So they're like leaders of the group, and then we got a total of 15 youth coming
Wow.
back for another photo shoot. So we got another round of these coming out here in another month or so. So it's really exciting.
If you build it, they will come. And boy, are they. I love hearing that. I love hearing that. Sometimes we say, well, the message falls on deaf ears. You have to be careful. Well, obviously, it's growing. So it's not falling on deaf ears.
Yeah.
And we always listen when it's something we either want to hear or think, wow, I need to hear that. So you came through loud and clear on this messaging.
Yeah. My challenge will be figuring out how to keep it going. The funding for this particular program's up in May, June timeframe. So I gotta work on finding more funding to continue on with this program or something similar to it.
I was going to say, if not this one, then something similar, but the momentum is there.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do some of these grant projects become so tangibly successful? This one has.
Thanks.
So if we need to storm the Capitol, there with you.
Well, that's lovely to hear, and it's been one of the wonderful things in the time that we've been running this grant is how supportive you've been every step of the way, and on the 988 grant as well. Anytime we need something, you're always there to help and provide. So we're so appreciative of that.
What you do is important. This program and the 988 as well, but what you're doing is making sure there's a next generation and a next 7 generations ahead. You're ensuring that. Why wouldn't I help you?
Right.
That's like, if people aren't willing to help, they're cutting their nose off to spite their face, because we are nothing without our young people. They're a number one resource.
Right.
People always talk about resources. They're the most important one.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that's, as a board member, you've been right there with us as we've worked on the new vision statement for IHC, the new mission statement for IHC. And I know through the course of that, there was a lot of questioning of like, why do we need to do this? What's the point? What does it matter? This is why it matters, right? Like the vision for this place is for them.
They matter.
We want this
Thank
place.
you.
We want this place to exist for them in 50 years.
God, I hope
when they
everybody
really need it.
watches this and hears you say that. They matter, because sometimes they think staff's just doing their job. No, you're doing your job because they matter to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That goes right here. We all need to remember that. This isn't just a job, it's your passion.
Yeah.
It's what you chose to do when you could have done anything, both of you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is what I chose to do. I chose to be here. I choose to be here every day.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Laurie, what is going on with you over at Rincon right now? Like, what big things are happening over at Rincon?
Well, there's 5 of us on council and we all have different areas. I do a lot of cultural education. So I'm doing something for El Camino High School, probably 400 kids. I've been involved with MMIP.
Hmm.
And we are bringing Zion's Story. I forgot the date on that, but I'll get that to you. It's interactive, like what to do in case our young people, it's for them, approached, by human traffickers.
Mm.
So working on that, and then working with you guys, Indian Health, for the film festival. We got a lot going on.
Yeah.
We've got a lot going on because, we're like any other community. We're multifaceted. You have the business interests, you have the, environmental, you have, all of these things. So we all chip in and work at what we're good at. And we help out with everything, but we all have areas that, like I'm not as thrilled with sitting down and developing a budget. I'm more thrilled in spending what's in that budget, or
I think
that
we're on
kind
the
of thing.
same page on that.
We play to our strengths, but we also are united when we need to be.
Right.
So those are some of the things I'm working on. They're mostly culture, education, youth services, and I joined the Escondido Chamber of Commerce so I could keep up my tribe and the native, perspective. The big thing that I have going on right now is I sit on the Sentinel Free Nuclear Generator Task Force, trying to figure out how to get that. It's decommissioned and we got to figure out how to get rid of that nuclear waste.
My dad used to work down there when it was working, way back in the day.
Yeah, well, it used to be that we would ship off all this toxic waste, because it lasts, the energy in there, it lasts longer than the containers that hold it.
Yep.
So we're used to shipping it off somewhere else. Well, they don't want it anymore.
Right.
And right now it is buried in the sand and the water can get to it.
Oh my.
Right.
So I'm working on that thing, but and again, it's in our historical territory. And Chief Seattle, what befalls the earth befalls the people of the earth. So I'm concerned about that. We need to make sure that what we leave for the next generation is something we're proud of.
Yeah.
Big one.
You work on a lot of things.
Stay busy.
I think the more I get to know you, Laurie, the more impressed I am just by how much energy you have to put forth towards so many like big things, but you also don't ever seem to lose sight of the little things as well. And that is an incredible thing to be able to do, to keep your focus on the small things while also looking at so much of the big stuff.
Well, I think part of really accomplishing a lot is you keep your eye on the small things or they become big too, and then it's double the work. But my children are grown. I enjoy my grandchildren, but they're busy with whatever they're doing, and I want to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, staying out of trouble's key. How are you doing with that, Joyce?
I'm staying out of trouble. Just keep me busy.
Well, you're so busy here with these programs. I mean,
Yes.
you guys talk about me being busy. You are too.
It's a lot of innovation on the behind the scenes of it, but we couldn't do it without your support or the community support. It's for the community, and we have the community support. So it's
It's
long
one
cycle
thing
of
for
As long as the
us.
community tells me what they
I'm in
want,
the
I'll stay
Coliseum
busy.
going, go ahead, go ahead, fight that battle. You're the one actually fighting it. So, kudos to you.
Thanks. Yeah, it's rewarding work. I think Joyce and I both we enjoy seeing the rewards of what happens when we do our job well.
Mhm.
And the reward of that is seeing the community benefit from the programs that we get to put forth. So seeing these kids grow and thrive has been an absolute joy for the last 2 years of my life. Working on the 988 conferences and seeing the connections that are being made with the 988 program has been, so important. And I know if we're helping one life get saved in the
Mhm.
course of doing that, like, that's everything.
It's everything. It's like, if you throw one pebble into the pond, look at all the ripples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even count them all. But I hope our viewers know that, when you leave for the day, your job's not done. Even you're either working at home, thinking about working,
Guilty.
and planning. So honestly, it's, this is a calling.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, one of the most noble ones. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
And, we'll have you back on down the road and talk about more programs as more things come to fruition.
Keep you
I
busy.
love all
Stay
the
out of
programs
trouble.
you've got going. I really do. I think it's wonderful. I think it's so comprehensive, so well thought out. One program connects to another. Before you know it, you've come full circle, and so have your patients and your clients, and they. I don't even feel like I'm a patient here sometimes. I feel like everybody's my friend. I had a culture booth at the Grape Day Festival, and my doctor showed up. And I thought, I'm not used to seeing her without her white coat on. And I thought, why does she look familiar? And then I turned to my girlfriend Mavany. She's on the culture committee with me, and I went, is that Dr. Leonard? She goes, yeah. She goes, I didn't recognize her at first. I said, she's out of uniform. So, we are a greater community.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that all those programs tying together and being connected together. I mean, no person is one single thing, right? We're all a whole bunch of things that make up the whole of the person. So our healthcare is the same. We have to take care of the whole person, or we're not taking care of the person. We're just taking
I love
care of
that.
symptoms, we need to take care of the person.
Well, that's what you guys are doing. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Laurie.
Thank you.